Lesson 4, weighted mean. So a weighted mean means that not everything is weighted equally. So when you're finding your average, when you calculate a weighted mean, it's a little bit different. So for example 1, the teacher has 25 students who earn, in Class A, who earn the following grades. And then she has Class B with 20 students who earn the following grades. So what we're going to do is we're going to calculate each of the classes' means separately. So for the first class, I want you to pause the video and I want you to add up all of the averages and get a total. So when you add the averages, you should get 1,720. Our N for Class A is 25, so we divide by 25. So the class average is 68.8 for Class A. Now I want you to add up Part B, so add up all the averages for B, pause the video, and start it when you get your number. When you add up all the numbers, you should get 1,535. Our N for Class B is 20, so we divide by 20 to get 76.75. So overall, the average in Class B was a little bit higher than the average in Class A. Now what we want to do is we want to calculate the total average for Class A and Class B. So if we were to take these two averages, add them together, and divide by 2, we would find the average between the two classes. But since these class sizes are different, we have to take that into consideration when we calculate our mean. So in total, she has a student size of 45. So she teaches 45 students in all. So for Class A, the percentage of students she teaches is 25 over 45. And for Class B, it's 20 over 45. So we're going to find that as a percent. So we're going to divide to get 0.44 and 0.56. So 44% of her students are in Class A. I put that backwards. 44% of her students are in Class B, and 56% of her students are in Class A. Make sure that this number adds to be 100. You have to have 100% students. Now what we're going to do to calculate our mean is we're going to take each of our averages and multiply it by the percent that it's worth in the class. So 68.8 is worth 0.56%. And 76.75 is worth 44%. So we're going to add these two numbers together. You should get 38.52 plus 33.77. So altogether the class average should be 72.97. So that is the weighted mean for that class average. Example 2. The following are grades that you earn in a short course. Each assignment is worth 5%. Quizzes are 10, presentations are 20, and the final is worth 50% of your grade. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the average for each assignment that is completed first. So we're going to take the top divided by the bottom and multiply by 100. So on his assignment, you got 80%. On the quiz, you got 70%, 75% on the presentation, 90% on the assignment, 100% on the quiz, and an 82% on the final. Now we're going to calculate how much each is worth. So because assignments are worth 5%, quizzes are worth 10%, presentations are worth 20%, and finals are worth 50%. So altogether we should have 100% of the class made up. So we're going to see if we have that. So for this first assignment, we have 80 times, and we're going to change these all to decimals. So 0.50, 0.1, 0.2, and 0.5. So we have 0.05. For the second assignment, we have a quiz. So we have 70 times 0.1. Quizzes are worth 0.1. We have 75 times presentations are worth 0.2. We have an assignment, which is 90 times 0.05 because it's an assignment. We have a quiz that is worth 10%. And the final, which is worth 0.5. So what we should see now is that each assignment is worth a certain amount. If we add up this, we should get 100. So if we go 0.05 plus 0.1 plus 0.2 plus 0.05 plus 0.1 plus 0.5, add those all together, you get 1.0. So we know that this adds up. This is going to be correct. So we're going to calculate this now. Type it all into your calculator. For 5% of 80, you get 4. So what that really means is your 5% means you had 5 total points you could have earned, and you earned 4 of the 5 points. 70 times 0.1 is 7, so this one is worth 10 points. You earned 7 of the 10 points. 75 times 0.2 is 15. You had a total of 20 points. You earned 15 out of 20. 90 times 0.05 is 4.5. 100 times 0.1 is 10. You had 10 total points and you earned all 10 of them. And the last one, 82 times 0.5 is 41. So these are all the total points you earned in the course. If you add them all up together, you get 81.5%. So that's out of 100. This is the same as saying out of 5, out of 10, out of 20, out of 5, out of 10, and out of 50. And you got 81.5 out of 100. So that is how you would calculate your grade in that way. Example 3. The following are assignments that you earned over a semester. Each category is worth a different percent. Calculate the final grade for the student. So this is like what I would have on my computer for your report cards. So you have quizzes, tests, portfolios, projects, and finals. So what we're going to do is we're going to calculate the average for each of the sections and then multiply by how much it's worth. So for the first one, we're going to just do the quizzes. So I want you to add up all these numbers, 98 plus 90 plus 80 plus 65 plus 77 plus 88 plus 82, and you should get 580. And the number of items we have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we take 580 divided by 7, and we get 82.86. So what that means is that your quizzes, you had an average of about 83%. So what I want you to do is I want you to pause the video and I want you to add up all of the totals for tests, portfolios, projects, and final is only one mark. So for tests, you should get 602. For portfolios, you should have got 619. And for projects, you should have got 588. So we're going to take each of those numbers, divide by 7. For tests, you should get 86.00. For portfolios, you should get 88.43. And for projects, you should get 84.00. And the final is worth 15% is an 85.00. So you have each of your marks for each section. Now we're going to multiply by how much they are worth. So quizzes are worth 25%. So we take 82.86 and multiply it by 0.25. Tests are worth 40%, so we take 86 and multiply it by 0.4. Portfolios are worth 10%, so we take 88 0.43 and multiply it by 0.1. Projects are also at 10%. So you take 84 and multiply it by 0.1. And lastly, you take 85 and multiply it by 0.15. I ran out of room. So there's each section multiplied by how much it's worth. So we're going to calculate this, and you should get 20.715. Pause the video and calculate all of this yourself. You should get, for the next one, 34.4 plus 8.843 plus 8.4 plus 12.75. And when we add all these numbers up all together, you get 85.108%. So you have an 85 in this class. Okay, now add in example 4. This question comes up a lot in class. You enter a final with 82% and the final's worth 20%. You want to figure out what the highest score you can get and the lowest score you could get is in the class, and what would you need to get on the final to get an 80 in the class. So people ask me this question all the time, so it's not that hard to calculate. So first, if we know that the final is worth 20%, everything else is worth 80%. So this 82 you have is worth 0.8% of your grade. So that means you have a 65.6 for 0.8 of your grade. Now, the lowest possible mark you can get is a 0 on your final, and the highest possible mark you could get is 100 on your final. So, if you got a 0, you would take your 65.6% and add 0 times 20%, which is 0. So the lowest mark you can get is 65.6% in the class. If you have 100%, you would take 100 plus or times 0.2, which ends up being 20. So what that means is you got all 20 points for your final. You got all full marks for your final. So you add another 20 to your total grade, so you'd have an 85.6. So the maximum grade you can get in the class is 85.6. The minimum grade you can get in the class is 65.6. So we want to figure out, what does the grade have to be in order to get an 80? So we want an 80, and right now we have a 65.6. So we're going to subtract the two numbers. And what that means is you need to get 14.4 points on your final. So that's the same as 14.4 out of 20. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our formula like we would here. So we don't know what our grade is, but we're going to times it by 0.2. And altogether it's going to equal 14.4. So to find our grade, we divide by 0.2, and we get 72 to be our grade that you need to get on the exam, which, if you would have typed this into your calculator, you got the same thing. So you needed to get a 72% on your final in order to get an 80 in the class.